Reporting this morning that a new Republican could jump into the presidential race to challenge President Trump in the next few days. Joining us now is Joe Walsh, conservative radio host and former Republican congressman from Illinois. Joe, great to have you here. When you were on with us last week, you said you hadn't ruled out a run for the White House. The New York Times says now you might make up your mind in the next few days. How about right now? Are you challenging President Trump in the Republican primary?
Hey, John, it's good to be with you. I'm not avoiding your question, but before I answer your question, can I just get this out? I listened to your prior segment, and it was fascinating TV, but man, I think we overanalyze Trump. He's not complicated, John. He's a horrible human being. He's a bad, bad guy. And every single day, you, I, and everybody watching us right now is reminded of how damn unfit he is. And to what Jeffrey Toobin said earlier, John, that he's stunned and disappointed that no Republican has stepped up to call him out on his unfitness. Jeffrey's right. The Republican Party will always, always regret the fact that they did not call this man out. Somebody has to.
If you feel that way, are you running against him?
I'm strongly considering it. That's, again, I'm not trying to be cute or coy. I've told you before, if somebody's going to get in there and go after him, John, it's got to be done soon. You're running out of time. But more importantly, these are not conventional times. Look at the guy in the White House. These are urgent times. Somebody needs to make that case. I have yet to hear any potential Republican make that case.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you run at this point? Again, if you feel as strongly as you do, why not you?
I may. I just don't know yet, John. I don't know yet. But it's got to be done soon. And if I do it, I will do it soon. Look, I'm a former congressman. I've been on the radio around the country for the last 6 years. I'm an okay guy. There are bigger names than me. There are bigger former senators and members of Congress, but none of them have the courage to step up and challenge him. John, this is the time where somebody's got to be brave.
So you say no one has the courage to challenge him. Bill Kristol, who you've been talking to, formerly with The Standard, and by the way, you've hired political analysts. You're talking to people behind the scenes here for real. This is a real consideration now. Bill Kristol, in this interview in the New York Times, makes clear that you're appealing to him basically because you're the kind of guy who can punch the president in the nose rhetorically. Why is that important, do you think?
Because Trump's a bully, and he's a coward. And the only way you beat a bully and you beat a coward is to expose them, is to punch them. Donald Trump's been a con man his whole life. Again, for the life of me, John, I don't know why any other Republican can't say this. It's got nothing to do with the debt and the deficits. That's a concern. It's got nothing to do with his bad, horrible tariffs. They are bad and horrible. He is a bad man who, and we don't talk about this enough, John. Millions and millions of American children every single day in this country are learning, they're paying attention. They're learning that it's okay to lie and be a bully and be cruel. The only way you primary Donald Trump and beat him is to expose him for the con man he is. And if I did it, John, that's what I'd do. I'd punch him every single day.
You have called him a bad man, among other things. He is, in your words, a bad man that you voted for.
Yes, absolutely. So I found the religion. Look, you and I have talked. He lost me officially at Helsinki about a year and a half ago when he stood in front of the world and said, I'm with that guy, Putin, and not my own people. That was it. That was ugly. That was disloyal. But really, John, what's grown on me since 2016 is this troubling truth. Virtually every time he opens his mouth, he lies. I mean, we've never had that before. Look, I was in Congress with Obama, and I called him out on a couple of doozies, but we've never had a president, and this is pretty scary. We've never been in a situation where every single time a president opened his mouth, it was a lie. I don't give a damn what your politics are. That's got to be called out.
Let me ask you this, because, again, you're on conservative radio now, and you went after President Obama a lot in ways that you've now apologized for. Again, we'll stipulate you said he was a Muslim. You've apologized for that. Had President Obama gone out in the White House, the South Lawn, looked up at the sky and said, I am the chosen one, how would have 2015 Joe Walsh have treated that on the radio?
2015, Joe Walsh would have gone crazy. And John, more importantly, all of my listeners in conservative talk radio would have gone crazy. This, again, is what's so disappointing, the silence. Trump increases the deficits more than Obama, and yet all of my listeners and all of the Republicans stay silent. I've told you this before. The one good thing Donald Trump has done for me is he's taught me how absolutely ugly personal political hate is, because I engaged in that way too much when I was in Congress. Trump has kind of shown us how bad it can be, because that's what he always does.
I just want to make one thing clear. You said President Trump was a Muslim. I don't think accusing someone of being a Muslim was an insult. It just wasn't true. And
Absolutely.
It was used over a long period of time by people to attack the president for one reason or another.
Absolutely.
Joe, can you win?
Yes, because here's the bet, I think. And I think, by the way, John, don't trick me into saying, can I win? I think a good challenger can win. Again, John, only if they make the moral case. This guy's unfit. He lies every time he opens his mouth. If you're not going to say that, then don't even challenge Trump.
Is it worth running, though, even if you can't win?
Yes, because this is a scary time. And if Republicans, John, stay silent in the face of this guy, I don't think the country will ever forgive the Republican Party. But forget about the Republican Party. If this guy gets 4 more years, we're in real trouble. It's worth doing anything you can do to try to stop that.
I got to let you go, but when are you going to decide by? What's the deadline date?
Labor Day's in, what, a week? If you want to get in, you got to get in sometime within the next week or so.
All right, former Congressman Joe Walsh, thank you for coming on this morning, although not revealing your intentions, maybe leaning a little bit more toward. Is that safe to say this morning?
Safe to say. Good to be with you, John.
All right. Thanks, Congressman. Appreciate it. Allison?
Fascinating. Always fascinating to talk to him, to hear his newfound feelings